What's up, everybody? It's MagicWithRacingNews.com, back for another edition of Dr. Miranda Previews. With me, as always, is my co-host, Dr. Miranda. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Yeah, I was gone last week. It was my best friend's bachelorette party in Florida. I had to plan that with 14 girls.
Oof.
That was super stressful. Life of becoming a parent is super stressful, going from registries to showers to trying to find childcare. That is $1,600 a month. So let's try to cash some prizes this weekend so I can afford for my kid to be washed when she's born.
Hey, I hear you on that one. It's tough. But hey, we're going to familiar grounds here. We're going back to Del Mar for Sunday's Grade 1 Clement Hirsch Stakes. And if you've been a longtime viewer or listener of Dr. Miranda Previews, you remember Dr. Miranda correctly picked Fighting Mad to win this one last year. Let's see if she's got the magic in her again. This is a Breeders' Cup winning year in for the Distaff. This is extra crucial this year because the Breeders' Cup is coming back to Del Mar. We've got a field of 7 in here, Dr. Miranda, older fillies and mares. Bob Baffert's got a really tough one in here as time goes by, who's probably going to be the favorite. She Dares the Devil shipping in for our old friends Brad Cox and Florent Giroux. No matter where you cover a race, Dr. Miranda, those two always seem to show up, and you love to try and pick against them a lot. Let's see what happens today. Take us through the field for the Clement Hirsch.
Yep. So to start off the field, we have the very talented turf horse with Warren Showtime. But let's be honest, she shows up every single race, no matter the distance or the surface. She has finished in the top 3 in 18 of her 20 lifetime starts and has produced over $700,000 for her connections. Now, many people are going to shy away from her because she hasn't raced on dirt since November. But if you look at her stats, out of her 4 times on the dirt, she's finished top 3 in 75% of those. And looking at her buyer, she's been very consistent in all mid-90s in 2021, and she's probably in her best form right now, even just looking at her workouts. Now, she's going to be towards the back of this pack in the race, and she's going to all be dependent how fast the outside horses go and if she can pick up the pieces. The next horse is the number 2, Clock Strikes 12, who was pretty decent last summer in California circuit. In her most recent start, she did get a second place in an ungraded stakes, but she was still 8 lengths back to the winner. She also finished way back behind as time goes by, who's also in this race. Each time she faced her, her last 2 starts were mid-60 buyers, which are nowhere near these top competitors. I think she's getting thrown into the deep end, and I just don't think she has what it takes. The third horse is As Time Goes By for the good old Bob Baffert. She was dominating in the West Coast until Swiss showed up in March, which looked like a paid workout for Swiss Skydiver. Last time out, she barely won against this T, the same horse who she beat by 9 lengths the race before. So my question is, did she need a little break, or did this T just take a huge step forward? Her works are bullet since being off since May. The thing that I do like about this horse is that she doesn't have to have the lead. She can stalk and has both early and late speed. The horses to her outside are all going to be gunning for the lead, so it just depends how far back she stays in this race. Then we're going to go to the number 4, Paige Ann, who, looking at her, doesn't impress me a whole lot. She hasn't won a race since January of 2020, and she has only won 2 races in her lifetime. She's raced in a couple G3s last summer, but she came up short each time out. She took about 8 months off and came back to get 3rd in allowance race at Golden Gate. So right there, it kind of tells me she's kind of mediocre at best. So she does get proud in the irons, which does intrigue me a little bit, but I just don't think she has it in her to win against this field. But I will say she's going to have a huge influence on this field because she has a lot of early speed, and she's going to be linking up with Venetian Harbor and She Dares the Devil from the beginning, and she may wear them down. And then we're going to go to the number 5 cover version, who to me is just my least favorite horse in this race. She's 3 for 25, never ran faster than a mid-70 buyer, and has never been in a graded stakes. I just think this is way too much for her, and it's just an automatic toss. Then we're going to go with the number 6, Venetian Harbor. She took some time off after she ran her worst race of her life in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, where she got last place and she was 16 lengths behind the winner with Gamine. Her last start was right back in the G2 at Santa Anita in a turf sprint, and she did very well, getting a 96 buyer. She also ran recently a 58-second 5 furlong last week. So it seems to me that she's just right back to where she needs to be. And she's doing better than ever. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. She's being annoying. Everyone, though, with Venetian Harbor keeps talking about the distance. But if we go back to last summer, she ran this distance in the Ashland and got second, and then got second again behind Swiss Skydiver in the Fantasy. Both were 95 buyers, and she's even beat She Dares the Devil before. So I'm not so much concerned with the distance as I am is how fast they're going to let her go right out the gate. They need to let the others battle if she wants to have a chance. And then lastly, we're going to go with my favorite duo with Brad Cox and Florent Giroux. This is her first time out west, where I'm sure if she does really well, they're going to keep her there because this is where the Breeders' Cup is at Del Mar in a few months. Now, this girl was on a roll last summer in the beginning of this year until she met up with Latruska in the Ogden Phipps. Now, you can't fault her too much for that because Latruska right now is just dominating every single field. I mean, she's beat Swiss Skydiver, she's beat Monomoy Girl. But the problem I have with She Dares the Devil is that she let Bonnie South beat her. And in my opinion, Bonnie South is the weakest of all of Brad Cox's older mares. She's not going to let the other horses to her inside beat her out of the gate. So the big question with all these other horses, is this going to be a speed duel in the end? Now, I kept going back and forth with this race because there's just not one clear winner that sticks out. People are probably going to be thinking that I'm crazy, but on top, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Warren Showtime. This horse just shows up every single race, and I just love that about her. And I'm hoping for a pace meltdown and she could sneak in on the rail. If there's not a meltdown, then I believe that Venetian Harbor is going to take this field. So in an exacta box, I'm going to add in Venetian Harbor and As Time Goes By. So that'll be a 1-3-6. And in a trifecta, I'm trying to go for a price and make some money. So I'm going to go with 1-3-4-6. Sorry, I'm fading She Dares the Devil altogether.
East Coast, West Coast, middle of the country, doesn't matter. Dr. Miranda, very anti-Brad Cox, and Florent Giroux, unless she thinks they've got a strong chance to win. I give her a lot of crap about it, but she's very good at picking when they're going to have when there's a good time to try and beat them here. You're going with the lone Calbred in the field of 7 fillies and mares. I dig it. If there's a hot pace sign down, which it sounds like you're predicting there's going to be, that looks like the horse is going to be there to pick things up. Dr. Miranda, good luck. I know you got a lot to build on because last year, as I mentioned, you correctly had Fighting Mad as your top pick winner here. Tell the folks at home where they can follow you for all your tips and insight moving forward.
At Miranda Bunky.
Good luck this week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Miranda Previews.